Back WJBF Sports Game Night live at WW Carter Field in beautiful Barnwell, South Carolina, as Aiken gets set to kick the ball off to Barnwell, currently leading 14-7 in a game that's been fairly close, just as the score indicates, Ryan.
That's right.
A game that has seen a couple of really big plays from Bryson Jones of Aiken, 2 long runs, a 48-yarder and a 45-yarder. And Barnwell, given the gift of great field position, they were able to punch one in as well. So we get the second half kicked off. A short kick brought up by the upback, Keyshawn Jenkins, who brings it up a little bit past the 30-yard line, looks to be about the 32-yard line. So Barnwell gets set to get back under center with Elmore at the helm. And we'll give you the first half stats for Aiken. 176 total yards, 151 of those rushing, a lot of those coming from Jones, and then 25 passing yards for Barnwell. 102 total yards, 85 yards rushing, 17 in the air, both teams with a turnover. Elmore takes the snap, hands it off up the middle. Going to give it to Lee. Once again.
Faking the jet sweep there. Let's see if they hand that off later on.
Yeah, it seems like a couple of times they faked that jet sweep, and we'll see if, like you said, they do go to it. I don't know that Aiken's really had to respect it. You know, you can explain this, Ryan. If you're not necessarily running plays you're faking, I don't know, do you respect that as a defense? Or are you worried about it?
At some point, you better respect it, because as soon as you don't is when they do run it.
Right, that's when you see the long plays.
So you just play your rules, you know. That's the game.
Elmore drops back to pass. Those are across the middle.
Oh, my goodness. Is he okay? Is he okay? That's helmet to helmet.
Yeah, we'll make sure right here. Looked like it was a little overthrown.
That's why you see the flags. That was helmet to helmet.
Yeah, and a play that maybe in years past would draw a lot of excitement from the crowd, but as you see right now, the clapping is more for the young player. For Barnwell, as we see a replay, Doctors Hospital replay, and yeah, just simply leading with the helmet there, which over the past couple of years has been kind of filtered out.
In 2006, I was in camp with the Falcons when they changed that rule.
Yeah.
When it all of a sudden it was like there's not going to be any more helmet-to-helmet contact. Obviously, they had gotten away from it from quarterbacks after a while, but you know, you always thought a receiver, you're going to make him pay.
Right.
You're going to hit him, try to knock his helmet off, and that's what we were taught.
Yeah, I was going to say, if anything, it was a difference between an interception and a big hit. And very commonplace, as you see DJ Peoples walking off on his own accord there. Looks like he's going to be all right. The team trainer's going to check him out, but you see the flag on the play. That's going to be a helmet-to-helmet, and we'll see how they handle it as we hear from the referee here.
We got a targeting personal foul against White. Number 11 was ejected from the game.
And much like you see in college, when a targeting penalty is called, again, in college they have the use of replay in which they decide whether they still kick the player out, but the personal foul penalty still stands. And right here,
that's a tough one to me, you know. I mean,
well,
you want to protect the players.
You do.
But it's tough. The kids maybe watching the football come in, and I don't know, you know. I mean,
well, there's been a few years that have gone by. I think James Harrison of the Steelers was kind of the guinea pig on this, as his entire, and a lot of those guys, their entire lives they play football a certain way. Now you're telling us to reverse it. You're a professional athlete. Nobody's going to necessarily feel sorry for you. That's something that you got to do. I'd say now the teams have got a couple of years under their belts of, you know, you can't do it. And you don't really see it a lot that much anymore. That was something that maybe you grew up watching it. Now there's been a few years in between, so now you know you can't do it. But right there, just good to see DJ Peoples able to hang in there.
There's your buddy Bostic.
Elmore throws a little pop pass over to Bostic. It gets a little bit past the 15-yard line, and a big play for Barnwell, and what might spark this comeback. Down 14-7. Again, after the big personal foul targeting penalty.
I tell you, it does a lot for a team to have a good tight end that can catch the football.
Well, again, you're seeing that nowadays, I think, in an age of full of wide receivers, as Bostic rambles into the Orange Theory Fitness Orange Zone. You see, with all the great wide receivers there are, who are some of the most popular players? Gronkowski of the New England Patriots. You know, he's the guy that's kind of leading the charge.
That's right. Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham. Again, you can go down the list, and there's always been really good tight end receivers. I mean, even going back for Georgia to Randy McMichael. I mean, as many years as he spent in the league playing for the Dolphins, and Antonio Gates. But, yeah, you having a tight end that can catch and stretch the field, again, a perfectly run offense can beat a perfectly run defense. You just can't, because the quarterback can throw the ball a certain area, and you can't do anything about it. See Elmore back. He's going to keep it himself, running up the middle, follow some blockers, and get inside the 5-yard line.
As you can see, the success is running off the right side. For big number 77.
Here in a little bit, we're going to hear from our friends over at McDonald's. Again, later on, stay tuned. The offensive and defensive players of the game. A treat each and every week as we congratulate the kids on the field for their outstanding play and get a chance to give them a shout-out down there. Again, each and every game, after the game down on the field, get to talk to them. Representative from McDonald's joins us, offensive and defensive players of the game. And it looks like Barnwell's trying to run a play in. It looks like they're going to bring the chains out and try to get a measurement. He might. I think he's got the first down if you're able to. And that's going to be a first down in a short field for Barnwell. And they've had success when they've gotten this far earlier in the game. The first touchdown of the game was an Aiken fumble, and they had it in Aiken territory, and Barnwell was able to stuff it in there. And we'll see if they're able to do it again with Elmore getting the touchdown the first time. We'll see if he calls his number or hands it to Lee. Looks like he's going to hand it to Lee this time, and he gets into the end zone. Touchdown for Barnwell. Again, with the extra point, it will tie it up.
Well, you run it off the right side time and time again, and now run it off the left side and get some yardage out of it.
And Lee has not had the game-breaking plays that maybe Elmore has had in terms of yardage, but he has certainly moved forward each and every time that he's been given the ball. See a good look at Lee there. Another talented sophomore for Barnwell. And the kick's up, and it's good. Toole ties it up for Barnwell, and we got a 14-14, 9:36 left. WJBF Sports Game Night Live. We're all tied up here in Barnwell, South Carolina at W.W. Carter Field. We'll be back right after this with more. And welcome back, WJBF Sports Game Night Live in Barnwell, South Carolina. We're now all tied up, 14-14. Barnwell getting the touchdown from their running back, Mikhail Lee, the super sophomore. Again, one of the many sophomores on this Barnwell team at the skill position.
Aiken had a great return last time. Let's see if they're able to keep containment on that left side of Barnwell.
And a really good kick to the right side. It's going to be returned by Simpkins. He's going to try to run it to the right and then cut back to the left. Still on his feet, able to elude a few tackles to get to the 25-yard line. And while we got a minute, we want to check in with one of our good friends, Fred Kruko, owner-operator, local McDonald's here around the area. How's it going, Fred?
It's going great. Wonderful game tonight. It's tied up. It's close. It's good. It's fun. Cool. No rain.
Yes, most importantly, cool. No rain.
Power.
Yeah, power. Power to the stadium. But we've checked in with you over the years. Again, McDonald's all around each and every, not only Friday night, but high school. It seems like any sport, anything dealing in the community, McDonald's right there. Just talk about that a little bit and how you got your own start with McDonald's.
Well, I started as a crew person years and years ago. I don't want to say how many years ago, but I've done everything: clean windows, wait on customers, was a company employee, worked all the way up through, and then now I own stores here in Barnwell and Denmark, Beach Island. And it's a really good, it's a fun thing. It's a lot of teamwork and that type of thing. So
excellent. And it seems like nights like tonight, where everyone comes out to the game, and then after the game you're heading home, and why not stop in at McDonald's? It certainly seems to be always the case. As I'm sitting in the line alongside everyone else.
That's right. Don't forget to get those ticket backs. We got those ticket backs out there. You can bring them back to the store, man, right after the
very cool.
We're waiting on you. So
very cool. And, McDonald's being so involved in the community and with each and every high school, it seems like, around the CSRA. Can you talk about any high school students you have that work at your store that maybe go to these schools?
Well, we've got a bunch. We've got high school students in all the stores: Barnwell, Denmark, Beach Island. We employ quite a few people, and that's their first start. And they learn the teamwork and that type of thing. And hopefully one day they'll take my spot and actually sponsor this Player of the Week. It's just a wonderful thing. So.
Absolutely. And it looks like Aiken is going to be able to pick up the first down. It'll be pretty close, but. Going back to that, you talk about the high school students that work in your stores here locally. What does it mean to be able to come out to events like this and just the community-driven events I know McDonald's is always a part of, and just to be kind of in the community within and talking and hanging out with all the folks? Well,
it is, and like we walk in, Adrian and myself, the store manager came with me. Everybody knows us. We talk to the people, that type of thing. It's a good thing. And again, I really love the sponsorship of this program and everybody being able to see themselves after the 11 o'clock news and kind of going through that. Just a wonderful deal. So
absolutely. Well, we appreciate you as always being a part of it each and every year, McDonald's, being right in the forefront of the community-driven events, and we appreciate it once again. Fred Kruko, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I think we're going to check in with you later for McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game.
Sounds great. We'll be here. Thanks.
We'll see you down there.
Thanks.
Good to see you again, Fred, and always a lot of fun. Again, each and every game, at the end of the game, down on the field, the offensive and defensive players of the game.
Big
brought
tackle
to you by
here.
McDonald's. Again, that might be a candidate for our Augusta Pain Center hit of the game. That was a decent hit there. You see Jones trying to go up top, and I tell you, Ryan, so far in this game, just in terms of big plays potentially happening, some of these defensive backs getting beat, but the throw's just not there. And those, I feel like those sting a lot worse watching on the film of you're so glad that the guy didn't catch the ball because, man, if he did, that's coming out that's coming out of your hide for sure.
Every DB's experienced that.
You win some, you lose some, and sometimes you just pray he doesn't catch the ball.
Running back screen out the backfield.
And
great job by Bostic.
Bostic, again, if they were going to be able to make that reception, if Sanders was going to be able to catch that, I don't know how far he would have gone because Bostic, once again, you talked about kind of walking around talking to some of the, little mighty mites or, the midget league football, the younger kids, who their favorite players were, and you said a lot of them had Bostic. They called
Watch
Bostic
out for number 86, Bostic. What a great football name, Bostic.
Yep.
It's Earl, correct?
A lot of great players with the last name Bostic. Pretty good linebacker from Florida a couple of years ago.
Punt shank.
And we'll see how they call it here. It might have been touched. All right, looks like it just touched Hammond there, and he downed it. It was close to maybe hitting an Aiken player, but again, great ball game. 6:51 left, third quarter. WJBF Sports Game Night Live. Game tied up 14 apiece. Both these teams 2-2 coming into the year. Some highlights so far in the year for both of these teams. A couple wins for Barnwell, like we talked earlier. They got a win over Blackville Hilda, 32-18, and also last week against C.A. Johnson, 48-6. And then Aiken, again, the big wins over South Aiken and Dreer. And Elmore hands it off along the right side. It looks like actually Elmore was running it himself. Excuse me.
Dondre Schuler there, 31. Good wrap-up tackle.
Again, a good overall game, a good back-and-forth game, just with Both teams able to, it looked like Aiken might run away with it. I mean, when you start the game off with a 48-yard run on the first play, and then you get another 45-yard run, and it seems like it might be a long night, but Barnwell stepping up on defense. And Elmore with a good-looking pass to number 10, Keyshawn Jenkins, but not able to, I don't know what it is about them not being able to hook up tonight, but not able to.
I tell you, one of the things you got to take into account with high school football is you got a quarterback who's running the football who's pretty much fresh, and you got a bunch of these kids who are playing both ways.
Yeah.
They get exhausted. So
Sure.
now you got a great running back or a great quarterback running the football who's
Right.
elusive, he's fast, and the other guys are tired down the stretch.
Right. And I know from Aiken's side that certainly led to, I mean, obviously Bryson Jones really athletic, but again, like you said, when those guys are playing both ways, it makes it that much harder to keep up with an athletic player. And
just seemed to be a few yards past him every time.
Yeah.
That was good coverage on the play, though.
good, really good coverage, but Elmore's pass, again, slightly overthrown, not able to hook up with Nathaniel Toole there. Also playing a little receiver, kicking and punting as well, the junior. Had his man beat, but pretty good tight coverage there right on his hip. And Toole
makes
there
his way back to kick.
got to try to run and catch the pass, and now he gets to run back and punt the ball.
They're getting close. I don't know if that one was touched or
Yeah,
not.
and this one's a low line drive and picked up by Hammond. Again, not Toole's best punt of the night, but able to get it over the 50-yard line. We're going to hit a break. When we come back, more third quarter action. WJBF Sports Game Night Live, tied up in Barnwell, South Carolina. We'll be back in a moment. And welcome back, WJBF Sports Game Night Live.
There's a Bostic fan right there.
Yeah, that's a Bostic fan right there. Enjoying the game on a beautiful Friday night at W.W. Carter Field in Barnwell, South Carolina. Again, tied up at 14 apiece, and for some of the area's best athletes, a good night to shine, and they have shined at that as Bryson Jones, 2 long touchdown runs. He elects to hand it off up the middle.
77 on the tackle. Marcus.
Looks like that's going to go to Sanders.
McKeithen.
We've talked a lot about Bryson Jones just because each and every year there's a different collection of athletes that stand out. And, again, some years you get a bunch of kids that end up going major D1 as we did last year. Just an incredible year, having multiple kids not only go to Georgia, Clemson, and even some electing to go to junior college in an effort to eventually go Division I, and some folks going to different schools. But just an incredible banner year last year in terms of kids going D1. And I know, Ryan, you really kind of keep your finger on the pulse when it comes to that kind of stuff, training a lot of kids over at Athlete Sports Training Academy. And you talked about something neat you're sort of doing this weekend, actually going to the Auburn game?
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, we own Athlete Sports Training Academy 6 years now. Do team up with WJBF to do a lot of the combines.
That's
and this
right.
year we did that senior combine, which was with the Border Bowl combine, which was
Kind
a
of
great
a life on its own.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, tomorrow we're taking 4 area players and 1 out of Atlanta to Auburn.
See
Recruiting.
Jones throw it across the middle and right into the hands of 31, Cameron Myrick. He had a interception if he wanted it, and he just not able to hang on to it.
And that's one he'll watch in film again, too, and just say, oh, man.
Yeah, that's one you don't want to watch.
Speaking
on
of
film.
defensive backs who get interceptions, you got Christian Tutt going with us tomorrow. He's probably your area's, best top, 5-star athlete.
An incredible story already, and he's only a sophomore. In fact, I mean, he's been offered. He can go anywhere he'd like to go. I mean,
Anywhere.
I'll just put it at that. He spent the summer basically going on a tour of the United States.
Well, one of his trips is a morning game to UCLA and an evening game to USC out in L.A. So he's traveling all over.
That's incredible.
But we're going to take him down there with us tomorrow, and his dad helped set this trip up to help some of the other guys like Mateo Durant.
Yeah, from McCormick, our buddy Russ Schneider.
Yeah, Russ is going on the trip too. So Russell, come along with Mateo, who was a 14-year-old running back that rushed for 2,000 yards last year.
It's unbelievable. He had an incredible year as well, and there's so many kids, and it seems like a lot of them, it's difficult to – that's not something that you just go to. You have to get invited to something like that. And luckily, when you have a couple – I know when I was in high school, in terms of star-laden, it wasn't necessarily a star-laden year. You had a few kids that, I played with Joel Winter, eventually went to Troy and played running back. He's a really talented player. But in terms of blockbuster, five-star recruits, they just weren't, as commonplace as they are, four-star, five-star that we seem to have every couple of years here in the area. And with that, it seems like you can kind of piggyback off that and get noticed yourself.
That's right. Well, we've enjoyed working with the local athletes and helping them, find their success and
training them and just kind of,
telling a parent down there. I was talking to Marcus McKeithen's mom, 77, here for Barnwell, just about how he should be on that van with us going. I mean, he's a big kid, not a kid that I knew about, but he's only a sophomore. But he is being recruited to play football. Clemson, Carolina, East Carolina on that ticket, Appalachian State.
Yeah. Well, if they see those numbers on the roster, they tend to get in contact with them pretty quickly.
That's right.
As you see, Elmore elects to dive there. Smart move. Gets a little past the 35-yard line. But, yeah, once they, see tape on McKeithen like tonight, just a really good, smooth player. A lot of times it seems like with the offensive lineman, if you're coordinated, boy, do you have a really good chance. And he has the size and the coordination. And with him being a sophomore, the sky is going to be the limit for that young man.
A lot of these college coaches, when they're looking at these big guys, they want that wingspan, man. Big hands, long arms, and he certainly has both of those.
You see, he like to run the ball there, give it to Lee. Elmore faked it like he was running it to the left. Aiken not buying it one bit. Brings up a long third down for Barnwell. Again, able to get this game tied up. Got the ball and moved it down, got it to the short end of the field once again and punched it in with Lee. Elmore and Lee both have rushing touchdowns for Barnwell so far in this game. And for Aiken, Bryson Jones, 2 long runs of 48 yards and 45 yards respectively. And 2 really exciting plays putting up the points for Aiken. Elmore trying to throw it back across in that traffic again. Once again, DJ Peoples actually, I don't know if he's been able to rejoin the game, but right there, Keyshawn
you got to look
Jenkins.
at these 2 kids, 10 and 4 there. 4 trying to calm 10 down.
And
have composure.
Well,
it's tough. He's already been hit.
Right,
it's
difficult game for Jenkins so far. He's sort of had his man beat a couple times, just not able to connect. And yeah, like you said,
just have composure.
Not as much adversity, you believe might be piled onto your plate. Certainly got to be able to keep the cool there. As we see Toole punt it away. It's going to get close to about the 34-yard line, and that's where Aiken's going to have the ball. As we switch sides of the field here and play a field position game. 14-all WJBF Game Night Live. A beautiful Friday night for football in Barnwell, South Carolina. W.W. Carter Field. Some exciting games so far in this WJBF Game Night Live season. No different tonight. As about 2:56 left in the third quarter. Some good history here in Barnwell. We talked to open the broadcast. Some star players we talked about in this game, but in years past for Barnwell, again, one of the top recruits that the Augusta area has ever seen in the late 80s. Shelly Hammonds went on to play at Penn State. Parade All-American, one of the biggest recruits to ever come out of the area. And Aiken has had their fair share of athletes. Again, Aiken and South Aiken have had a lot of different outstanding players that have gone on and not only moved on to major college football, but also played in the NFL as well. So Jones backs up the pass, has a man open, but throws it a little bit behind him and on top of him there, tries to hook up with Flanders there, the junior tight end, not able to do it.
And good coverage on the play by Barnwell as well. His linebackers passing him off as he's going across.
And to start the game, really, it was just all of Aiken's momentum, but it seems like Barnwell, with those few key stops you talked about, Ryan, kind of taking control of the momentum of this game and really maybe taking a light out from under Aiken's offense.
And it's a field position battle right now, too. I mean, Barnwell's maintaining some pretty decent field position. They're receiving the ball in the middle of the field and playing defense.
Third down, about 12 for Jones. He elects to heave it up top. Able to make the catch. maybe one of the best catches you're going to see all year for Quamaine Simpkins. It looked like that ball was going to be off his fingertips.
Several throws, just overthrown. This one,
as you see,
right on the fingertips.
We'll try to get a replay of that because that's one that you're going to want to watch over and over again. Simpkins with a ball that was not within his reach, but somehow figured out a way to get up there and make it within his reach and came down with it. The catch of the night from Simpkins. And Jones has led Aiken down into Warhorse territory, and they take off running with Sanders once again to the right side. We have a flag on the play.
Maybe a face mask?
And here's that play again, our Doctors Hospital replay. Watch this catch.
He crow hopped into that. Nice extended catch. That Doctors Hospital
Just
instant replay there.
All hands. Those are the kind you dream about being able to get.
You got an incidental face mask. On white, 5-yard penalty, that'll be a first down.
On red or white?
It's going to be incidental. Face mask, again, a 5-yard penalty. And those are the kind of plays that seem like they almost break your back. And we'll see what Barnwell, how they respond to it. Looks like Barnwell's going to take a timeout because that was a huge play from Aiken. Again, Barnwell doing a good job of hanging around and keeping everything in front of them.
Got to wonder if we jinxed him, Matt. We talked about field position and how Barnwell's done a good job of keeping him on that side of the field. And the next play, fantastic catch up the sideline.
Well, and again, it
Great throw.
seems like it's going to be overthrown, and then Simpkins makes an unbelievable catch. And we'll see if Aiken can get it back in the end zone again. All Bryson Jones in terms of the touchdown scores, but nothing much show in terms of drive for them, really just big plays. So we'll see if they're able to finish this one off or if Barnwell can once again step up. I believe we might have got a glimpse there of DJ Peoples, I believe number 16. Again, that big contact targeting penalty earlier. And good to see that he is in good spirits. And again, once again, I'm assuming that's him just because he has his pads off. I believe he's going to be done for the night. But sitting next to Keyshawn Jenkins. And unable to hook up with Elmore in any passes tonight. But again, plenty of time left in this game. As Aiken has been able to get down into the Orange Theory Fitness orange zone. And again, big plays, Ryan, for them, but nothing in terms of – they had one decent scoring drive earlier, but it was capped off by a big play. But mainly just big plays from Aiken.
Yep, as suspected. They're going to – the six is leaving that ball hanging out there.
Number 6, Bryson Jones.
Jones doesn't look like he gets much of anything there. And we're close to a minute left in the third quarter.
If I'm Barnwell and Jones is carrying the football, I'm trying to pull that thing out.
Well, and, you know, they had a fumbled delivery earlier in this game. That led to the first touchdown from Barnwell. And, again, he struggled with it last week against North Augusta. Ended up putting the game out of reach for Aiken, with North Augusta scoring off that turnover and getting the win. Jones hands it off once again
Big
to Sanders.
hit by 44.
Up the middle again, the nose
Nose
guard.
guard, yeah.
And we are at 30 seconds left in the third quarter.
Great
And
play
it's
by Javante Ross there.
Fourth down, and we'll see if Aiken's going to try to go for. It's fourth and about 4 or 5. We'll see what they run here. Interesting. I think they're going to let the clock run out. We'll see if they hike it before. It's fourth down at about 5 yards. Jones, kind of a heavy backfield. He tries to run it up the middle and doesn't get it.